If you have a goal to buy a home this year, it's so important that you understand the different strategies that can help your offer stand out. Because in this market, it's not uncommon to see multiple offers on one home, and the terms you include in your contract can be more important than the price. I want to share with you offer terms that you may want to consider when writing an offer in today's market. Number one, you want to hire the best possible team to help you navigate this market. Who you work with matters, and in Arizona, the buyers typically do not pay any realtor fees, so don't settle when hiring your agent. Having not only the right agent on your side, but also a well-known local lender can 100% make a difference in this process. The average person knows 8 realtors, and you may feel obligated to use your cousin who just got their license and sells real estate part-time. But my advice is to never choose your realtor because you feel obligated to use them because of how you know them, but instead choose the absolute best person who has experience working in this market. Number 2, you have to know what is important to the seller. Make sure your agent is doing the proper due diligence to learn what terms the seller is looking for. Almost every seller has some type of need besides the price. This could be a specific closing date, a leaseback, or many other things. This also includes avoiding asking for personal property. If the listing, for example, doesn't include the washer and dryer, you may want to avoid asking the seller for those to convey. Number 3 is the list price. The list price in today's real estate market doesn't mean much. The list price could be low, high, or just right, and some sellers may list their home low expecting multiple offers, and they wouldn't even accept a full price offer. Your agent needs to know how to run a detailed analysis to determine the true market value of the property. This will help you have a baseline to work off of when determining an offer price. Number 4 is being prepared and organized. This makes a huge difference in this market. This means you have to be ready to go. Good homes won't even make it through the weekend, so you'll want to be prepared to move fast. It's never too early to start the loan pre-qual process because you have to have your pre-qualification or proof of funds ready to go before writing an offer. There is a lot of paperwork and legal documents involved in a real estate transaction. This is also why it's important to have an experienced team drafting your offer to ensure it's clean and correct when it's presented to the seller. Number 5. Homes are moving fast in this market. You may have wondered, should I come in with a low offer so the sellers can counter higher? Well, this rarely is a good strategy unless the home has been sitting on the market or we have data to support that the home is overpriced. This is not the market to send in a lowball offer and hope for the seller to counter you. The best offer usually wins. Sellers don't want to waste their time countering low offers, and you may risk offending the seller. Number 6, there is one thing I know about sellers in today's market, and that is they do not want to make any repairs to their home, especially the small things like fixing a loose door handle. If you are selling a home in this market, you probably don't want to have to make any repairs because it's common for buyers to write as-is offers. That means they're agreeing to take the property as is up front, basically telling the seller that they will still have a home inspection to ensure there are not any deal-breaking items, but they won't be asking for repairs. So if you want a strong offer, consider saying, hey, I will not ask for repairs, or maybe say you won't ask for repairs under a certain dollar amount. Number 7, waiving the appraisal contingency. Since there is so much demand and not enough supply, the prices are going up fast. We did a whole video on appraisal waivers and shortfalls that you can find on my YouTube channel, but most winning bids these days are offering some type of appraisal waiver. So it's important to understand how this can help your offer stand out, especially if you are up against a cash offer. Number 8. So have you ever heard of an escalation clause? Let's say you find your dream home and it's listed for $500,000 and you offer $510,000, but you don't want to lose the home if another buyer comes in higher, for example at $520,000. So you can add a term in your offer that says, in the event any higher offers come in, you would be willing to beat that offer by X dollar amount, not to exceed X amount. It is still important to come in with your best foot forward. This escalation clause does not automatically mean you will win the home. The sellers may end up going with the buyer who came in high to start with, but an escalation clause can help your offer stand out. Number 9, when you are writing an offer to purchase a home, the closing date makes a difference. This is why it's important to find out from the seller their desired closing time frame. If it is a vacant home, the buyer who can close the fastest can have a better shot. Some lenders can close in as quickly as 3 weeks, and if the seller still lives in the home, they may want a longer closing date. So don't just make up your own closing date. Ask the seller what they prefer. Number 10. Leasebacks and post-possessions are extremely common in this market. In fact, it seems like every seller that's still living in their home, they want some type of post-possession. This means you would close on their home and agree to allow the seller to still live in the property for a few days, a few weeks, and sometimes even a month or 2. You can choose to ask the seller to pay rent, or it's really common in this market to offer the seller a free lease back at no charge to help your offer stand out. This gives the seller more time to move or find their next property. We would include a post-possession or lease agreement with your offer, and just be prepared because this is super common right now. Number 11, shortening your inspection period. This can help your offer stand out and it doesn't cost you anything. The typical inspection period in Arizona is 10 days. This means you have 10 days for your due diligence, which includes things like hiring a home inspector, a termite inspector. This gives you time to read through the HOA rules and anything else you want to investigate. Sellers love to see this 10-day time period shortened. You can typically get a home inspector scheduled within a few days after you go under contract, so you may want to consider offering the seller a 5 or 7 day due diligence period. Number 12 is the earnest deposit. If you're trying to buy a home in this market, you're probably going to be up against multiple offers. So agreeing to make some or all of your earnest deposit non-refundable can increase your odds of getting your offer accepted. The typical earnest deposit is around 1% of the purchase price, and it's due to the title company within 48 hours of your contract acceptance. There are a lot of things in the contract that protect your deposit if you were to cancel, so sellers know this. And if you're serious about the home, you may want to consider making your earnest deposit non-refundable. This shows the sellers you are a serious buyer and you're not going to cancel a week before closing. This means if you cancel the contract, you would lose your deposit. If you close as planned, your deposit would be refunded back to you towards your down payment. It's common in this market to make your deposit non-refundable after your home inspection. This gives you an opportunity to ensure there are not any deal-breaking concerns, and then you just move to closing. Number 13, this real estate market is overwhelming for sellers too. I've had listings with 20 and 30 offers, and the decision process is extremely tough on the sellers. When writing an offer in this competitive market, showing the sellers why you are the best buyer for their home can make a huge difference, and the right team on your side can help walk you through this process and ensure you are presenting the cleanest offer possible. If you are looking for a home in the Phoenix Southeast Valley, our team would love to help. Learn more about us online at GilletteGroupAZ.com, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Shannon_Gillette.